Hello, this is Rebekah Freedom, and this is episode number 30 of Heard Not Seen, produced by John Beethan. Today's title is Escaping the Cage That Is Your Mind. So this is really important because we all live in a cage of our own making, and we can't begin to awaken until we see that we're just faking every ounce of our meaning, and that meaning becomes the cage to our freedom. Let's unravel this poetry together in this moment, because it's exactly the feeling you get when you have a thought that he didn't treat me right, or I didn't get the respect that I deserved, and I don't feel heard. In fact, I don't feel seen. I think I'm just going to disappear. I'm just going to leave. I'm going to leave. I'm going to go, and I'm going to live in this place called conclusion, which is not even safe anyway, because it's all an illusion. A delusion, and confusion is the thing that clouds your memory, those moments of clarity that you had from that experience that you invested your time and your energy into, where you could learn, and in that learning you were set free. Why does the caged bird sing? Why do we get into these moments where we revel in depression, where we roll in our angst, where we say, yes, I realize that a hug is available for me, but no, I don't want it. I want to stay down here in my misery just a little bit deeper. Let me sink into it. Let me savor the flavor of the pain that has shown up in my world, in my veins, pumping at the beat of my heart like timpani, like a drum. I will succumb to this deep, ardent, hard emotion, and I will make meaning of it like crashing waves from the ocean. Together we do this little dance called I'm all alone, but won't you give me a chance? Won't you find me attractive? Won't you approve of my actions? Won't you give me some satisfaction? Won't you give me some satisfaction? This is the cage of our own making. We live in a time where there is a president who is just a pantomime. He's pandering to other people who have nothing but their own interests in mind. And we have seen this kind before. Some would say it was in a war marked by the Roman numeral 2, a race that decided to try to eradicate the Jews. Yes, you understand what the implication is if we give up our freedoms and we start to become apathetic and we start to decide that we're just going to let it unfold, stand back and watch the show, instead of turn the key on our own minds and set them free. So how do you do this? 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 How, you may ask. But is that the right question? Nay, it is not. It is only but a formulation that will only take you so far. If you want to step back and bend those bars and break the cage, then you need to engage in this level of energy. What do I need to be to create the level of change that the world is asking of me? What do I need to be to create the level of change that the world is asking of me? What have you not yet learned, invested your time in? What have you allowed to be a distraction? Because I promise you this, there are plenty of distractions to choose from. Some of them are in the form of digital media that has been slapped as social. It is no more social, no more kosher, no more. No more, no more, no more. Well, I listen to that bullshit. Because the swipe right doesn't lead you down the right path. And morality, that's something pundits can talk about. But I'm going to tell you, there is a way. There is a way to release the bars of your cage, and it's called human interaction. Human interaction. Love between a man and a woman doesn't always have to be romantic. It can be a friendship. Hear this. Love between a man and a woman does not always have to be romantic. It can be a friendship. A ship that sails across rough waters, but is steadfast in its course, does not waver, and pauses only in the moments where the sea is still and the clouds part in the dark night sky in the Milky Way is overhead, and we have to take a moment to take that breath of gratitude. Friendship is what we need for fortitude. There are places in the world called blue zones. These are places where people know how to build a home. They live longer and more fulfilled lives because they have ritual that they do when they rise and when they go to bed at night. Some people pray together, others walk together, others read and educate together, and others just sit at a table, eat enough food to satisfy, and spend the rest of their time in conversation. They spend the rest of their time truly relating. Not relating and a little message that becomes a post and then you hang it out in some kind of hope that someone's going to give you some sort of response, a like or something other than that, a emoji, a face, some semblance of connection, but it doesn't send you in the right direction because it's just an illusion. What you really need to be choosing is human interaction. I enter into action with you, and together we create an alchemy that aligns us with our destiny. You see, each of us has something that's unique inside of us, and it can be hid from us, hide of us. If you will believe the words that I'm saying, then you can receive that magic that has been playing. The music is inside of you. The symphony never stops unless you allow yourself to believe in the cacophony and the noise and the disruption from all the things that are employed as distractions. Breathe with me now, because you know this is true. If you turn on Fox News, there is an orange man in the office, an orangutan or some version of a sapien who is afraid of homos, and he's afraid of vaginas, and he's afraid of anything that goes against his narcissistic wounding. This is the man that we've been choosing all along through the detriment of our apathy. We didn't stand together. And now what we see is riots in the street, rallies, if you will, processions saying resist, but what you resist persists. So what are we going to do but release our minds from the cages of our own creating? Breathe with me. Stop the masturbating. The masturbatory coaches coaching coaches and people patting you on the back when in fact there is a knife in their other hand just waiting to say, let me execute my plan. Let me get my business my high dollar value because that's what I need you to make me significant. I need that sort of artifice. What am I saying? This is a lot of poetry and it almost sounds like Dr. Seuss after reading the dictionary. What I'm saying is there is a path to freeing your mind, and it is this path of connection that is made up of the components of three: being valued, being heard, and being seen. Now, what does that mean? Well, first of all, to be valued means that you understand that your body is precious. It is a temple of which your soul lives in. It's not an accident, no matter if your mother wanted you or your father abandoned you or the pain of which you've endured through your childhood. Even if it was perfect, there are things that are still need to be learned and understood. Compassion being one of them. First for yourself and then others. Compassion, that rise of fire that's steady inside of you, a hearth in your heart. Focus, my friends, is exactly that. It's the fire within that we harness for warmth instead of burning things down. So listen to me when I say that being valued is all about your worth, and you are worthy of a life that you are living. Believe it wholly, repeat it daily, let it be part of your mantra. And number 2, to be seen. There's plenty of avenues of which you can be exposed where your fingers and toes are froze by not getting exactly the nourishment that you long for. And I know what you long for because I want it too. We want that partner to come home to. We want that home cooked meal. We want to put our toes in the sand and we want to summit that peak and look across the land with a hawk's-eyed view, but be comfortable in our pursuit. We want to wear nice clothes and see if they'll give us the happiness that looks like resides on other people's face. We want to have experiences that we chase, but the reality of being seen is not about the exposure and the pushing yourself into the crowd or being loud or getting louder and putting your hands up and being obscene so that people will see you. Offensive is not progressive. Although we have hired a man who sits in a house of white to tell us what to do and what he thinks is right, we did it from a place of loudness, being offended. This is not being seen. Being seen is letting your heart beat. That's right. Men, I know that from a young age you were told to stop feeling your feelings. Don't be a pussy. Suck it up. Be a man. You lost the words that gave your heart rhythm, and so there's been a cage around it, and also your mannerisms, the way that you express yourself in the world, and also your mannerisms, the way that you express yourself in the world. And I will say, to be seen is to recognize those things that have been denied. You can still have pride and feel everything inside. And women, you've been trained since birth to be able to know some semblance of worth, but you tuck it away and you shirk small. You play on this earth until you can dance it out and expand and feel the power between your legs that has nothing to do with a man. Sure, W-O, men, women, whoa, as in, wow, look at that power, the feminine archetype that knows how to make the moon shine. Luna in the sky, reflecting her love, the sun, who comes and comes and comes. Yes, this is the evidence of being seen, to reflect each other and to find out what that means. To be valued, to be seen, and to be heard. To be heard, to be heard has more to do with who you be than your words. You can say whatever you want and set the intentions that lead you straight to hell, where you dwell and ruminate and you think that that's who you are. It's not. To be heard means to listen. It means to open your heart, your ears, and your mind. To be curious about what you might find instead of some predisposition or supposition of this is how it's been and how it will always be. That, my friend, is a fool's folly. Believe me when I say it's easy to tuck behind the programming that runs our mind. This is the very cage of which I speak. This is the cage of which I invite you to set yourself free. The lock is there. It's this sense of being alone, isolated, without a home. Loneliness affects 1 in 5. Because we forget to thrive. For some, it's just enough to survive and claw and scratch and forget there's someone else in the exact position that you find yourself in. So breathe and reach for connection, not on a computer screen, not on your phone, not on a tablet or device, not on an app, but in the parks, in the billiards, in the bars, in the churches, in the potlucks, in the rituals of girlfriends getting together and watching movies while drinking rosé, in the fellas playing pickup ball at the end of the day. It's the activities that we do and not the work that's given to you, this tiny confined space where money flows in. Of course, that's going to be part of it. Don't be fooled. Your life was meant for you to work. This is part of the dictums of the Garden of Eden, the things that were handed down. We don't get to just sit and clown around. In fact, you need to figure out what your purpose is. And when you do find it, it will chart a course of true north. Second star on the right and straight on to morning. No more mourning. No more grief. But finding the courage to be. This will break the cage of your mind, and this will surely set you free. So we can talk about politics, we can talk about religion, we can disagree, and we can continue sinning, missing the mark. We can hire coaches and we can go through the process of therapy. We can pick one of many healing modalities. Trust me, there are plenty. From the Bhagavad Gita to the Bible to running on a track to getting in the wilderness and practicing survival. Skills is what we really need to set our minds free. Don't stop at the edge of judgment, which is just another place of saying this is where I in my ability to learn. Go beyond that and open to what else is possible. Breathe with me now as an evidence, as breath, as evidence of breath, and breath being the thing that lets you know you're alive. It's renewing and it's affirming, okay? The relationships that you long for, you can be that for somebody else. Practice by reaching out. And if you need help, I'm here. I know fear and I know pain and I know loss. Those are all markers of my life. If you've listened to my podcast, you know that to be true. Having parents that left when I was 20 and 27. 2, who influenced all that I am to this day. And I am repeating some part of their legacy. But if you're ready to set your own and set yourself free and heal your heart from the damage of living, because living can cause damage, then reach out to me, RebekahFreedom.com. That's REBEKAH, freedom.com. You're not alone. You're not an accident, and it's not an accident if you're listening to this. If you want to learn practical magic, that which will change your life immediately and also permanently. Permanently, not as in a permanent vacation, but as in knowing the direction of which your choosings will take you, because there's a wisdom underneath of them. The connection of being valued, being heard, and being seen can be found inside the heart of spirituality, and spiritual counseling is what I offer. So if you're ready, connect with me. This is Rebekah Freedom. I love you so much. Go and get it. Go. Go on. Go on and get it. Thank you very much.